Karen Landers Outdoor World, and today I'm going to have a quick talk to you about what to look for when buying a waterproof pants and jacket. You might go into a shop and you'll see that some are like 50 quid, some are 400 quid. What's going on? They all say waterproof. What do I need? What is right for me? So I'll do a little bit of an explanation on that. So the first thing we have here, sometimes you'll see a suit, top and bottoms maybe for 50 quid, extremely waterproof, and you think to yourself, maybe isn't this fine? Like it says it's waterproof, but the only trouble is there's no breathability in this. So you need to be standing still, or you need to be doing very small level of activity. Otherwise, if you're trying to walk in it, if you're trying to do anything else in it, you sweat buckets and you get wet from the inside. So no good really for any kind of activity. Now, the next thing is, and most pants will have a rating called a hydrostatic head and a breathability rating. Okay, so that really determines how waterproof the trousers is and how breathable the trousers is. And generally, the smaller the number, the cheaper the pants is, and the higher number, the more expensive the pants is. Okay, so how is that tested? It's very scientific. There's a lot of complicated explanations, but I try and make it quite simple. So basically, if I went outside in the yard with a hose and my waterproof pants, and I pointed the hose at my pants until the water went through the pants, that is the time, and I timed it, that is the timeline for how long my pants will stay dry in constant rain. Now, say the next day I went out and I pointed my hose, and halfway through I got hungry and I went off for something to eat, so I turned off my hose and I went away. And I came back and I goes, oh, it took 2 hours for the water to go through their pants. I was only here an hour. I pipe my hose for another hour, and it should be go through the pants then. Well, no, there's the surprise. It won't, because once, if you get the pants wet for an hour and then it dries off, and then it gets wet again, your cloth will start again. So that's what we call mixed conditions. So a membrane will last a lot longer if it gets to dry off in between showers, okay? So that's the second thing to consider, whether it's going to be constant rain or whether it's going to be mixed conditions. And the third thing then is, say I went out the next day with my hose, and instead of putting normal pressure on the hose, I turned it up full blast. And I pointed that hose at the pants, and I will notice, jeepers, it went through it a lot quicker. And that is because the more pressure there is behind the water, the faster it will permeate the fabric. So that is a way to, basically, I suppose that explains wind. So if you've got wind and rain, your fabric is under more pressure, the wind is driving into the fabric, and it will go through the pants quicker. Okay, so now we've got these fellas here, and these are approximately 5,000 hydrostatic head. Okay. And you'd see the price tag there is around 100 for a jacket, around 50 for the pants. And you think to yourself, okay, will this do me, right? So basically the timeline approximately for this is 1 to 3 hours. And that's 1 hour in heavy driving rain, 3 hours in mist or light rain on low level conditions, and all day if it's mixed conditions. So if you're out between showers, and if you're out in some sun, some rain, then you'll get the whole day out of it. Ideal for, say, people going for a few hours out in the park, dog walkers, people go for a walk on the beach. But maybe if you went up the mountains in heavy conditions, wouldn't do you. Now, we'll move on to, this is 15,000 Berghaus own brand membrane. Now, this will do more for you, and the timeline on this is about 3 to 5 hours. So that's 3 hours in heavy driving rain, 5 hours in mist, what we call normal rain, and then you'll obviously get the whole day in mixed conditions again. Now, ideal for people going up the hills on fine days, or going up the hills in the summer. Also will do quite well in winter in mixed conditions. Great for farmers, great for people out and about in the hills, things like that. Now we'll move on to the heavier gear here, and this is the Gore-Tex, and this is a rating of about 20,000 breathability, 25,000 waterproofness. Now if you're going to be going up hills in elevation where potentially you're going to get driving rain, I say if you're a farmer who's going to be out all day after sheep in the hills, if you work outdoors, if you're a gardener, if you're anything like that, where you're going to be exposed outside for a period of time, especially if you haven't the chance to go into sheds or to take shelter, this is kind of the standard that you need, and the timeline on this is 5 to 8 hours, okay? And now the price tag on these fur pants will be a bit more expensive. They can be anything from 100 to 200 euro, and the jacket can be something like 200 to 300 euro. Now, the reason there's a variance in the price is because there's other features as well to consider, like how technical the hood is, how much protection the hood is from the rain, whether you will have a simple tapered hood here that might leave rain in the side and there's no peak on it, versus a hood that's got lots of different adjustments. And the same as well with the cuffs. If you've got cuffs with very good adjustments, things like that, that can affect the price tag as well and affect the waterproof performance. Now, if you go to the really, really high end, and these would be about 400 euro a piece, and they're Gore-Tex Pro, and they're about 28,000 hydrostatic head, and they're for the serious outdoor professionals. They're for people who go to be out every day, and it might seem an awful lot of money, but really, if you get a few years out of the pants, you're basically paying about €1 per trip out to be dry and comfortable, and most people would pay that. Okay, so I hope that kind of clarified things for you a little bit, and made it a little bit easier for you when you go into a store and you're faced with this big array of things. You think to yourself, okay, what am I going to be doing? What do I need? And then the price tag and the ratings and all the different things should be a little bit clearer for you. I'm Marisa, thank you very much.